Okay, so let's take a look at how to play Fantasy Frontier. In this demo, we'll be going through several turns of a two-player game. We've already sorted out all the bits. We've gone through the steps of selecting our factions. Brittany has selected the Skyflower, which is the yellow player. Her player power is that she can drift her airship one terrain tile without having to assign a pilot. I've selected the Academy, the green player. My player power is that I can carry up to 4 map cards instead of the regular 3. So in Fantasy Frontier, players are racing towards reaching 40 victory points. Once they've achieved that, that will trigger the end of the game. They'll add up any unused resources and determine who the winner is. So to start off, each player will need to draw a map card and 2 terrain tiles. So draw that. I'll kind of let you in on the card that I drew. Once I'm able to recreate that pattern using the terrain tiles, I can score those victory points listed at the bottom. Alright, now you'll want to keep your map cards secret, but the terrain tiles are a public item, so you don't get too worried about those. Okay, so we've already went through the initiative process. Brittany rolled the highest, so she will be going first. So this first round is the setup round, where she will be placing 2 terrain tiles and her airship, and that's it. Each player will do that. Once that has been completed, then we will move on to a regular round. Okay, so at this point, Brittany will get to select where she would like to place her 5 workers across the airship deck. There are several different jobs that each worker can perform, from piloting the ship, scouting the terrain, exiting the ship to go down to the land below to collect resources, which she will later use to build townships. She can even choose to attack adjacent airships, blast the ground, which would allow her to remove previously placed terrain tiles, or research in the study in order to acquire more of these map cards. Okay, so she's got her 5 workers placed. The phase order will determine how these workers resolve their jobs. In this particular circumstance, as she has no actions in the green phase, we'll go ahead and move right on to the yellow phase, which is to disembark the workers to the land below. And she will go ahead and perform that.
As my yellow, I'm going to go ahead and use my drifts.
Okay.
And I'm going to drift right over here so that I can use all 3 of my workers here. And put this one right over here on the brown there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use the green. And we'll put this on the yellow here. Whoop. So we've got...
Okay, so when you go down to the land below, you're able to harvest resources based on the types of terrain tiles, where the forest is going to give you a roll of the green die, the mountain will give you a roll of the brown die, and when there's water on the board, you'll get a roll of the blue dice. Also, because she's placed a worker in the plains, which is the yellow terrain tile, she's going to be able to take a turkey for free. Now, just to explain to you how the turkey and the fish interact in the game, a turkey is a reroll. You'll be able to reroll any of the resource die or the combat die, and the fish is you're able to take an entirely new action. So once a worker has already performed an action, you can consume a fish and perform a whole new action. One more thing that's nice about the turkey is not just is it a reroll, it's also a redo, in a sense that if you were to draw terrain tiles that you're not satisfied with, you can consume a turkey, return the terrain tiles, and draw again. Alright, so her first worker acquired another turkey and a miss. You gonna re-roll that?
Yeah, I guess I may as well since I have a turkey.
Alright.
And get another turkey.
So that just turned out to be a wash.
Yep.
Okay. So then after she's completed all of her phase 2 actions, she'll move on to the phase 3, which in her case she has 1 scout and 1 cartographer. So the cartographer got her map card, and the scout allows her to draw 2 terrain tiles. So you could potentially draw up to 4 terrain tiles in a single turn. Alright, now on to me. Now it looks like I'm a little jammed up as I'm not able to place my workers on the same terrain tiles that she's placed hers. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and concentrate my efforts a little bit more in scouting and researching, especially considering that I'm able to carry more than the regular amount of cards. So we'll go ahead and draw 3 cards. We're skipping straight to phase 3 because I don't have anybody in phase 1 or 2. Alright, so I'll kind of give you a peek as to some of the maps that I've acquired. So you can kind of see that they vary in difficulty, some as little as requiring 4 pieces, while others can require up to even 7 pieces. I will go ahead and take 4 terrain tiles for my 2 scouts, and that concludes my turn. We're back over to Brittany. So at this point, she will take all of the workers that had been previously placed, reset them, and start again. Now it's important that you wait till the start of your turn to reset your workers, because their placement on the board, both down on the terrain and on your player board, make a difference in some of the decisions for other players.
Alright, we'll keep those 2 over there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and place these down here.
So the placing of terrain tiles is something that occurs during the phase 1. So she's able to place those terrain tiles at any point during the green phase, mixing and matching with the piloting actions, the attacking, etc. I'm sure you're able to hear my beautiful little daughter in the background. She's watching the game from afar and enjoying it already.
Hey, darling. So I got a stone and a turkey here. Pick up my stone, pick up my turkey, and we'll move on to the next thing. Grab my research, and grab 4 of these ones.
All right. So then that moves on to me. I'll go ahead and reset my workers and place them where I would like. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see here, do some more scouting, do a research. And then I'm going to initiate some combat and make this a little bit interesting, because I think that I'm getting a little tired of Brittany being in my way and I'm not able to place my workers anywhere. Okay, so we'll start off here by placing that. Now I've created this map card. Once that's been created on the board, in order to score the points, I have to have my airship either fly by or stop on any one of the tiles that are represented on my map card. In this case, my ship is already on the mountain space, so I'm going to go ahead and just score that card. And I will place it to the side of my ship to indicate now that I have those 4 victory points. Okay. Okay, then I will resolve the actions of my workers. In this case, I'll start off with my phase 1, which consists of attacking. Now I have 2 options when attacking. The opponent that I'm attacking does have to be adjacent, and in this case, Brittany's airship is. I can do a standard attack, which is where I will designate which spot of her airship that I'm targeting. I'll roll a d6. 1 through 3 is a miss, 4 through 6 is a hit. Otherwise, I can do a focused attack, which allows me to assign 2 workers to a single attack, and I get to skip the roll and just go for an automatic hit. If I'm able to successfully hit 3 spaces in a single turn, then I'm able to collect 5 victory points, and I'll track that at the bottom of my player board. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and target one of her scout spots. I rolled a 5, so that's a hit. So she's going to take a damage marker and place it on a scout spot, meaning that that is not usable until she has repaired it on a future turn, which costs one of her workers an action. I will target now a research spot and hit again. So we'll just go ahead and place a damage marker there, shutting that position down. And then I'll move on to the next set of actions I have, which are phase 3, 2 scouts and a research. So I'll draw a card. and I'll draw 4 terrain tiles. Alright, and in this circumstance, I drew a development card. So when you send your workers into the study to do research, you also have the potential of drawing development cards. In this case, I drew a development that allows me to change up how I build townships. Typically, to build a township, which is this piece here, and it's worth 10 victory points as well as some reoccurring resources, you have to spend 2 gold, 2 wood, 2 stone, and 4 workers. If I equip this card to my airship as a permanent upgrade, then instead of requiring the 2-2-2, I'm able to build a township with any 6 non-food resources. Which makes a difference considering wood is a little bit easier to acquire, and when she's blocking certain areas, I don't have to concentrate too much on getting the diversity of resources. So I am going to go ahead and equip that. I'll just place it here next to the airship. The other option would be to sell it back to the game. There's a number of resources listed at the bottom of the card that you can collect if you choose that you don't want to equip that upgrade. Alright, so that concludes my turn, and it's Brittany's go.
Alright. Place down these tiles here. Down there. This guy here. There we go. And we'll reset these workers here. And we'll go ahead and put them on the exit. I'll use one of my workers to clean this out of here. And another one to repair this one. Both of those were repairs there. There we are. And so those are used. Now we'll go ahead and disembark these workers on the land. Do that one. And that one there. Let's grab the green. Blue. Ah, what in a turkey and a fish.
Nice rolls. Okay, now Brittany's going to encounter a bit of a problem here, considering that the maximum that you can hold on your ship in terms of resources is 4 of any type. Now Brittany here has 4 turkey and a fish.
Yep.
So she's going to have to discard one of them.
We'll discard a turkey. Fish there. Stack all these up here. We got a wood. Alright. And lastly, we have my scout. Alright. And, oh, I got a development card actually this turn. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and sell it for a couple of resources. Because you can do that. As you can see at the bottom there. Well, there we go. So we'll do a couple of gold.
Okay, on to my turn. Reset my workers here. I'm going to go ahead and piloting, exiting, and some scouting. Okay, so I've chose to have a pilot, 3 exit, and 1 scout. I'll place my terrain tiles here. Okay. In here. Alright, so I will go ahead and take my phase 1 actions, which is piloting. To start off, I will pilot 1, 2, 3, and then during that action I passed through this map, which is shown here. So I scored those points, and then I finished my action, make sure I'm correct here, I finished my action on a pattern that matches this map, so I'll score those points as well. So that was a nice turn. I just picked up 10 victory points that turn. And then I will have my 3 workers exit to the land below. We'll go ahead and go 1 into the water, 2 into the forest. When you're exiting your workers, you can exit them to any adjacent space, either directly underneath your airship or adjacent to your airship. It just can't be occupied by any other land units. It would be fine if an airship were there, as the workers would be under the airship and that wouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, a fish, a turkey, and a wood and a turkey. So I pick up 2 turkey, a fish, and a wood. Alright. And then I will take my scouting action, and Brittany, you're up.
Alright. Let's put these tiles down here. Take those workers. We're going to do a few exits this time. Scout and a research. Alright, so I will exit. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use my drift right up here. That way, I can use both of these forest tiles. And this guy here on the mountain tile. Oh, what a mess. Alright. I'm going to use one of my turkeys to re-roll that miss there.
Okay.
And another miss. Ah, dang.
I'd say keep going.
Yeah, I have quite a few turkeys.
She's also at 2 gold, 2 wood, and 1 stone, so she's only short 1 stone to be able to build that township next turn. And she got it.
You got my stone.
That was plenty worth cashing in a couple of turkeys for. Plus, people are always happier when they eat.
Alright, and then last is my scouts.
Okay. So while you were taking your actions, I kind of let the viewers peek at my card, and I think I'm kind of getting close, but it's always hard to tell. So because anything can change on the community board. All right. Let's see. Take my workers back. Okay, so I'm going to pilot. And when you pilot, you can move your airship 1 to 3 spaces. So 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, I'm going to stay there. And then exit 2 workers. 1 down to the water, 1 into the forest. I got a wood, a turkey, and a gold. So it was a very nice turn in terms of resource gathering. And then I will scout twice, which gets me 4 terrain tiles. And Brittany's turn.
Alrighty, so go ahead and just place these down here.
So I have a feeling that because I was building upon that area on my previous turn, Brittany's being a little malicious and placing her tiles there in hopes of disturbing something I'm working very hard on creating. Is that a correct assumption?
Maybe.
Alright, well.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cash these all in here. And, oh, you know what? I do need to take all these guys up here. And reset all my people. I'll do some exits. And I need 4 people in order to do this.
Alright, very nice.
Alright.
And then that frees up that 5th person.
Yep. I'm going to keep him in the research, actually.
Okay.
I'm not having luck with my research, so I need more.
Alright. So Brittany's opting to build a township. She had the exact number of resources to do so. When you build a township, it has to be built on a yellow plains tile. The plains tile can either be directly under your ship or adjacent to your ship. So in this case, she has 2 different places to place it. Okay, and that's going to be the better option for the town, considering that it's up against mountains, forest, and water. And the reason that that matters is because on future turns, she's going to be able to roll a free resource die based on the terrain that surrounds her town. So that was perfect placement. Plus, it scores her an instant 10 victory points. Now, it's important that the workers that she place to build it come off the board. They don't have to go down onto the land below, but they are not on their airship at this turn. And then you'll also finish up by doing your research. And then it's my turn. Okay, so I'll pull my workers back up. All right. Okay, so let's do this. So there. There. All right. Here. And here. Okay, so I'll take my piloting action, which will go 1, 2, 3. And that puts me onto this map. So the map I was working on earlier that Brittany tried to disrupt has come to fruition. I will score those 6 points, putting me at a total of 20 points right now. And then I'll have 2 workers go to the land below. I will exit to the water and the mountains, as I don't need any more wood. Alright, check that out. I got a stone and 2 gold. That's fantastic. So now I'm only short 1 stone. This would be a perfect time for me to use a fish. So I'm going to go ahead and consume this. The worker that went down into the mountains, I'm just going to reassign to harvest again. A gold and a stone. So I am set up to build my town next turn. And then I will scout 4 terrain tiles. And it's Brittany's turn.
Okay.
Alright, so at the start of Brittany's turn, before she sets up her workers, she's actually able to choose which resource she would like a free roll at for her town.
Let's see here. So I'm going to choose the water here. And
Nice.
there we go. We got a fish.
Gold and a
and
fish.
Gold.
That's awesome.
Alrighty.
Okay, so that gives you a really good idea of how Fantasy Frontier functions, how the gameplay looks. 2-player game is not any different in terms of rules from a 3-player or a 4-player game, except for, adding those different players adds a lot of excitement and a lot of different stuff going around on the board. The gameplay is great at 2 players, all the way up to 4 players. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope for your support on this project.